It's Cabinet of Chaos time again, where Mitch picks out a mystery ingredient out of this cabinet over here in the corner that I have crammed pretty full of just random items that I have not used or I haven't used all of. So he's gonna go ahead and pick out an ingredient and then I will have to find something to cook with it. You ready?
Already looking.
Okay. Oh, okay. This will work. I have this huge bag of quinoa that I got from Kirkland brand that is Costco. And if you are familiar with Costco, you will know that they sell everything in giant proportions, which this is no different. So why I bought something this big, I have no idea. But we're going to come up with a really cool dish to try to use some of this up. So I will do some research and then we will start cooking. We're in luck for this episode because I actually found a recipe in a cookbook that I already own. So we didn't have to do any like crazy internet searching to see what to do with this, which is what I was hoping for since quinoa is kind of a popular grain nowadays. A lot of cookbooks have them in there, and since it's also been kind of a while since we've had a real true vegan dish on the channel, I thought let's go ahead and look into a vegan cookbook that I bought, and I've actually tried it a couple of times already, but I have not done a review for the channel. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera around and show you what cookbook we're doing. And here we go. I think it's Veganomicon or Veganomicon, however you want to say it. But it is the ultimate vegan cookbook. Now, this has been out for a little while, since 2007. And there's got some really nice things in here. Like I said, I've already tried a couple of recipes and I've really enjoyed them. This one features some color photographs of the food in the middle of the cookbook. For the most part, it's just text, which can turn some people off, but I haven't actually found a problem with it yet. And here is the recipe that we're going to do. We got quinoa here. Let's see what it says. Here we go. Is pineapple, cashew, quinoa, stir fry. I think that sounds really good because it's got a lot of really interesting ingredients in it. Now I've got all of my ingredients laid out and ready. I do have a couple of substitutions though. I will show you later why I'm using the dried basil instead of the fresh. We've got some scallions that I cut up for another recipe earlier, and so we'll just use the rest of those. I could not find a red chili at the grocery store, and I went to a couple different ones and just don't know if it's because of shipping issues or they're just not in season or whatever, but all I could find was a jalapeno, so I'm going to use part of that. Also, I'm going to use up some canned pineapple that I already had instead of buying a fresh one that's out of season currently. I've also got some edamame that I had frozen, and I pulled out of my freezer some bell pepper. I know it says red bell pepper, but I usually buy the variety packs of pepper and then cut them into strips and put them in the freezer for all kinds of different recipes, and I really don't think it's going to be that much of a change issue to use a variety of colors. And of course, we have our giant bag of quinoa from Costco, so let's go ahead and try to use some of that up and empty it out. I've also got our condiments here. We've got mirin, we got soy sauce. I'm going to use sesame oil instead of the peanut oil, and I'm also going to omit and substitute water for this vegetable stock because I didn't want to actually open a full box or can of vegetable stock just for 3 tablespoons, and I didn't have another recipe lined up to use the rest of it. So I think I will go ahead and substitute just water, and with all the other ingredients in there, I really don't think it's going to affect the taste that much. So it's time to go out and get the fresh mint that we're going to need. And I have a little bit of a surprise that I was kind of shocked by this morning. It was 76 degrees here in Tennessee the day before. Yesterday was 62. And now, look at what we woke up to. Oh, it's kind of dark in here because of the snow on the roof, but it has stayed a little bit warmer in here than it is outside. Now, the recipe calls for fresh basil. You can see that my basil has not actually fared too well, you know, because the changes in the weather from cold to warm to cold. So I might actually just leave this alone and use dried basil instead. But you can see behind it, look at all this mint that I still have in the greenhouse. So let's go ahead and harvest some of that. The cypress tree is all covered. Something that we don't really see in Tennessee a whole lot anymore. So when it does happen, we kind of tend to get a little overexcited about it. The cookbook suggests that you have everything ready before you actually start cooking, because once the process gets going, it should go pretty quick. So I chopped everything up and got it ready while the quinoa was busy cooking. And I've got my skillet turned on, ready to roast the cashews. The cashews are toasted, so I'm going to go ahead and remove those from the pan. And we're gonna get started. I've got all the ingredients lined up in the order that we're gonna use them. So let's start by heating up our oil. Now we're gonna add our scallions and our garlic. Now I added an extra bit of garlic. You don't have to add that much if you don't want to, but I love garlic. So that's kind of how much I wanted in it for myself. Now that that's nice and sizzling and fragrant, we're going to come over here and add our chili pepper and our ginger. We'll stir that together, get it sizzling for a couple of minutes in the pan. Now we're ready to add our edamame and our bell pepper. This is already looking and smelling really good. Now we'll let this stir fry for about 3 to 4 minutes and we'll come back with the rest of our ingredients. And I think we are ready for our next step, which is going to be to add our basil and our fresh mint. So we're going to stir that around and let that get nice and fragrant for about a minute. And of course, anytime any kind of good cooking smells starts coming out of the kitchen, here comes my little cooking buddy, hoping that I might give her a little morsel. But none of this is safe for little kitty cat, so sorry Diana, but you'll have to wait till I make some plain chicken one day. Alright, I think we're ready to go ahead and finish this off, which means we add our pineapple And our quinoa. This is just smelling and looking better and better. This is gonna be my lunch today, so I really can't wait to try it. Now for the last step, I'm gonna pour over our mirin and soy sauce. And now we're going to cook this down. The cookbook says about 12 to 14 minutes, or until the quinoa is very hot. I think 12 minutes might be a little excessive, so I'm just going to keep my eye on it and see what it does. And I see now why it's going to say 12 to 14 minutes. They want you to make the quinoa the night before and refrigerate it overnight or chill it for at least 1 hour. I did not do that because, quite frankly, I'm hungry and I didn't want to wait. So I think it'll be okay if we don't put it in there for 12 to 14 minutes because our quinoa is already hot. Also, they did not say when to put the cashews back in, so I'm going to go ahead and just do that now. Alright, I think we're about ready, so I'm going to let this sit and sizzle for a little bit longer while I just kind of clean up some of the kitchen mess, and then we will be ready to taste test this. And Diana over here is doing everything she can to make me feel very guilty for not giving her anything. So I think I'm going to have to break out the little temptation kitty treats. And it's the moment of truth. Now Mitch had an appointment, so he will not be able to taste test it with me, but he will try it later. I have a suspicion that he'll like this too. So let's go ahead and try to get some of everything and see how it's gonna taste. This is very good. It kind of surprised me and it kind of doesn't. I was a little bit worried about the combination of ingredients with the basil and soy sauce and that kind of thing, but it actually all works together and it's really good. It's savory, but with a hint of sweetness, and I really like that in a stir fry. I think this would be really good on its own for just a quick lunch, or as a side dish to a bigger dinner that you might put together. I don't think that it would be amiss in really any situation. So I'm giving that a big thumbs up. I really hope you try it. And I'm gonna say we found yet another really good recipe out of this cookbook. Now, if you've been a vegan for years, you probably already have this in your repertoire. But if you're a new vegan, or if you just really hadn't heard of it before, I would go ahead and give this a try. I bought this used on Amazon for a few dollars, and it was really worth it to me. I've gotten some really good recipes out of here that I've used as main dishes and side dishes and all kinds of things. So I would give this a try if you're looking to add some different kinds of recipes into your collection. And I would definitely give this a try because, as I said, it really is good and I really like this one. So thank you for watching the second episode of Cabinet of Chaos, where I'm desperately trying to clean out this one cabinet and organize it for the first time since I've been in this house 12 years ago. So it's a really long time to have a junky cabinet, but I really hope we're making headway and finding some really good recipes along the way. So stay tuned for next time because we will be doing another episode. So thank you for watching this episode. Hope you liked it and hope you really try this dish. I think you'll like it. We'll see you next time. Bye.
And if you like historical cooking and unusual cookbooks, here's 2 more videos you might enjoy. And make sure to like and subscribe for more foodie adventures.